when Jay-Z, when everybody was like, Jay-Z's in the Illuminati, and then all of a sudden he had to Run This Town video, which had like Illuminati imagery all through it and all that, kind of like just to fuck with people.
I think they're like, let's try to sneak some pedo shit in just to see
No,
if
no,
anybody
no.
notices.
I don't think they're I think they're like playing with the satanic imagery, which kind of is one tick away from pedophilic imagery.
I think the sheer incompetence to let something like that slide and then to have books on the wall with weirdo imagery is just out of this world. So to even just take it on a very superficial level, that's just gross negligence
for
on
a
whoever the marketing
brand
is.
to do that, knowing that the right wing would just like if Destiny or I were consultants for Balenciaga and they had ran that by us, we would have been able to basically predict exactly like what Mike Cernovich's tweets about it would be like. It just the response is super predictable, so I'm not sure why they took that leap if they were going to immediately retract it.
Yeah.
Sure, but the thing is that, like, first of all, it's not like there was a paper and it was like child porn good, right? It was like a particular Supreme Court case, and I think you had to look it up because it had to do with child porn. Like, it's not like it was literally written right there. Like, we love child porn. I don't know. Like, I just like there are of all the possible worlds where shit happened. Whenever shit like that happens and people are like, oh, I think there's like, so they all got together in the back room. None of this leaks, by the way, because apparently it's the best secretive pedophile society in the world. And they all are like, okay, well, we're pedos and we want to signal to other pedos. So maybe in this like advertisement that's paid for with like all this outside funding and everything, let's try to sneak like the most sneakiest fucking pedophilia. It's like, no shot. There's just, it's out of this world. There's no way. Dude,
I'm not saying all of that, Destiny. I'm just saying the fact that this sheer degree of incompetence happened with a brand as big as Balenciaga is nuts. And I think they're deserving of everything.
When we say sheer degree of incompetence, let's play this, okay? Let's say that conservatives had never freaked the fuck out, emptying their load on their fucking keyboards when somebody looked up what Supreme Court case this is. Is anybody anywhere across the world being negatively affected by this? Is anybody really looking up the words in a piece of paper in a Balenciaga and then typing them into their computer and seeing what the case is about and then like liking child porn?
No. I don't think it's them liking child porn. I think it's being okay with platforming creatives and designers that are into some weirdo stuff.
Well, it's definitely like whether or not it's pro pedophilic, it's definitely like satanic imagery. We could all
agree. Is it satanic? It was just the words of a Supreme
Court.
Court.
You got to see the images, bro. You got to look at here. I'll pull it up for you because now I'm
because they have like kids holding like a teddy bear and the teddy bear is wearing bondage.
That's
shit,
a whole
right?
other thing too, which is fucking.
I agree, it's kind of weird, but I also just don't ascribe the kind of evil to it that a lot of people seem eager to.
No. It's the stuff Kim Kardashian was wearing in the ads.
Creepy.
Bro.
No, but did you see the other thing? The picture of the bitch who's one of the head designers for Balenciaga wearing all red, holding the red babies.
No, I saw that, yeah.
Now swipe, and you guys can see.
That don't look a little satanic to you?
Swipe, and you can see Kim in the same outfit.
Like a cover, an album cover for one of the metal bands you used to jack back in the day?
Well, let me see. I want to see it.
So swipe back, you'll see. So this is trending right now with Kim Kardashian. The stuff they dressed her in is out of one of the books that was in the ad, and that's straight out of the weirdo imagery.
So what? She's supposed to look like these satanic drawings to start it
off?
The
satanic drawings were in the book, in the ads. Like they had these books in the ads. So yeah, you guys could go look this stuff up. It's pretty crazy. But
here's what I'm saying: if Democrats had fucking 3 kids, little girls on stage singing about like some fucking candidate like Trump did with those 3 girls, I think people would be overanalyzing the fuck out of it. But because it was Republican, nobody gave a fuck. I feel like there's selective.
That's true too, though.
I feel like there's selective analysis that goes on.
Selective
where
outrage,
looking really hard for fucking.
But I would say this is a political thing.
What if Trump was sniffing a little girl's hair?
They would go crazy with that.
I mean, what if Trump was paying porn stars to be hushed while he was fucking them behind his fucking third wife's back, right? Like, I mean, what?
He wouldn't get my vote.
But we all know it's like a pretty obvious conservative playbook that they basically just try to take everything on the left or any of their ideological opponents, which Balenciaga officially is because they deserted Kanye, and then they try to conflate whatever they're doing with pedophilia, and just because it's the most toxic thing to be associated with. And this is a fucking layup because it's kind of in your face, creepy and weird, and just seems totally tone deaf. And I don't blame the conservatives for fucking doing this because it's so obvious that this is their playbook. But people like Balenciaga shouldn't be making this fucking easy on them.
Yeah, they definitely like you said, tone deaf. The timing is crazy because a lot of other brands, high end luxury brands and designers have been toying with this imagery for a long fucking time.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
They're not
the
the
issue
first
too.
ones.
Is that like is it like they just did this now as they abandoned Kanye, or have like higher end luxury brands, which to a normie like me, I don't understand half the fucking shit they're showcasing. Have they always been engaging in like really off the wall, really pushing the boundaries, like crazy fucking imagery?
Absolutely.
they have.
Because that's what art is, and a lot of high
absolutely.
fashion is basically just like co-opting a lot of shit that's going on in
But
high
now that
art.
they're political opponents, now it's satanic imagery and not just like artists being, doing wacky shit.
A few years removed from it, I'll admit that when the whole thing happened about the Gucci turtleneck that had the fucking face on it
Yeah.
that kind of looked like blackface,
Yeah.
that I kind of felt like that was a stretch. That to me, that like did not seem like an attempt for them to do like a coded anti-black thing.
Or what about when H&M had the coolest monkey in the jungle, and then
And they had a black kid modeling it.
That's
Again,
a bit much,
tone
no?
deaf.
Yeah.
But I don't really see what is inherently racist about the existence of monkeys and like a shirt referencing monkeys. Like I have a 2-year-old. Trust me, she loves monkeys. She says the word monkey all the time. She points at Teletubbies and calls them monkeys because she hasn't figured out that they're called Teletubbies yet.
tone deaf
It's just
to a very, very like.
they shouldn't have had a black kid wearing it in the catalog. But,
even-
if they hadn't made that decision, then I don't think we ever would have heard about it.
Yeah,
No,
and even at that
we wouldn't
case,
have.
right? Like a black kid jumping, like you said, like kids talk about like monkeys and shit, right?
Right.
It reminded me when people are like, we need to rename monkeypox because it's racist. And it's like, what the fuck does it say about you if you think monkeypox and you think black people? Like,
Right.
Well, that's,
why would that
that's-
even be where your
It's
mind
insane.
goes?
Yeah, that's
you know?
a racist thought in
And
and
it's
of
like,
itself.
well, yeah, but that's kind of what you're like, oh, a kid like no monkeys in the jungle. Like, I don't know, I would see a kid fucking wearing some fucking monkey shit. I wouldn't think like, oh my god, black, it's an ape. Like Jesus, that's just like some, and yeah, I don't know. I feel like
A
people.
little Freudian slip.
Yeah, people run to like these crazy places. Like, bro, maybe, dude, and even I like I remember ContraPoints brings this on a video where I see like an ad, I see like a picture, and you have like some woman and her child, and it's like protecting our future, and it's a white woman and a white child, and I'm thinking like, this is a fucking Nazi ad.
Right. You
But
can
it's
take-
not. It's just a white person and a white kid, and I'm like, what the fuck am I even thinking anymore? And I feel like people have to fucking chill. You need to bring the temperature way
Now,
down a lot of shit.
and I have a lot of examples of the same exact type of shit. Like there is a hip hop ad, and it was 2 white kids' faces, and it said, "This is our culture." And I thought I had the same fucking thought. Now, with that being said, Balenciaga having an ad with little kids and teddy bears with S&M gear on is fucking sus. Let's keep it a stack.
I guess I wish that conservatives had this outrage for fucking pageants, which is conservative culture.
That shit's fucking sus, too.
And that's a
That's sus,
million,
too,
but that
bro.
is a million times more sus, and they have been fucking silent on it. And that's why when I look at you, this is why, here's an issue that I have. When we talk about educating kids, we talk about all these things, okay? This is a huge issue that I have. Is a lot of the criticism doesn't feel like it comes from a place of compassion, right? And I think that is probably the single most important thing when it comes to criticizing somebody. If a friend comes up to you and they're like, bro, like, you're doing some wild shit, you need to, like, figure your shit out, right? If it feels like it's coming from a place of compassion, you're more likely to listen to it. Whereas if somebody's like, bro, you're a fucking moron, right? Like, you're not writing the advice off because it's bad advice. You might be a fucking moron, but if it feels like it's coming from a hateful place, you're not going to listen. And when I see the selective outrage for certain things, and I don't see it in places where it would be more worthwhile. That's not to say that you have to be mad at everything at once, but like pageantry is really weird. And there's been reality TV shows about pageantry, and nobody has fucking said anything about it. But now a couple Balenciaga ads come out after Ye gets dropped for some weird shit, and now all of a sudden conservatives that you're supposed to convince me care about kids being objectified sexually. I just don't buy it. I don't think they really give a fuck about it.
Well, and from an outside perspective, they're both fucked up, and it's not one
Yeah.
or the other. There's like it's not.
No, but that's the problem. Is you can't say that you care about it now when you never cared about it before. I don't believe you care about it. I think it's a political win. I think that if the ad came out and it was a Trump ad, I think those people would be rushing to defend it. That's the issue, right? Is it like
you really think that?
Absolutely. Here's a prediction that I know is fucking true. If Trump would have won the re-election, 95% of conservatives would have had the Trump vaccine in their body. Guaranteed. Because it would have been Trump's achievement. He pushed it through. He's the one that pushed for the warp speed shit on the research. He's the one that pushed to sell a lot of those contracts ahead of time, which was good on Trump. He did it, and he even wanted to take credit for the vaccine after the election season.
A lot of anti-vaxxers that are historically super right-wing consider him a bootlicker for even.
Now they do, but I think if you would have won the election, I bet conservatives would have gotten vaccinated because it just becomes a political partisan issue based on your political identity, and it's fucking annoying because there are a lot of good conversations that can happen, but they all just get held captive by whatever people's ideological leanings are, which is frustrating. And then none of the criticisms feel like they come from a place of compassion. It just comes from a place of like, I fucking hate these people.
And
it's
there's
like,
no
okay,
objectivity. At that
I
point.
don't even fuck objectivity.
Yeah,
Even if it's completely subjective, I just wish there was like there are conversations to be had. I have very strong feelings about how people should be spoken to as minors about trans issues. I think there's a huge epidemic of trans trendiness, trans trenders that exist, especially in
Agreed.
college campuses, especially with women, right? But I have a lot of compassion for trans people. I support trans people. I support minors getting hormones if there's the proper barriers in place for it, right? You shouldn't be able to walk in at 14 and go, I feel a little bit weird. Can I have a dick, right? You shouldn't be able to, it shouldn't be that easy, right? But the problem is when conservatives come at this and criticize it, it's like, I hate trans people. I don't want any fucking messaging for these people at all. It's fucking disgusting. I don't believe it. It's all unnatural. It's like, okay, well, it doesn't feel like your criticism is coming from a place of care or concern. It's just a political sledgehammer that you're using to attack the other side. And children just happen to be like the people getting hit in the middle, which is what bothers me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you talk about earlier about like, should we be talking to kids about gay and trans and shit or whatever? And I agree that like those conversations are hard, but holy fuck, to a 5th or 6th grader that is starting to go through puberty and realizes they're fucking gay, to not have anybody communicating anything about that to them at all when they're in the fucking locker room and they're getting weird feelings when all of their friends are starting to talk about girls and they don't have those feelings and nobody in society speaks to them. Like class or school might be the only place where somebody, because the parents might not even realize, right? Class or school might be the only place where the kid can hear that message. So to remove that completely and say, well, parents will figure it out, when a lot of parents don't have any conversations with their children about sex, feels to me like a concern that's coming out of an ideological leaning and not a compassion for the children.
No, and that education should be normalized, but at a certain point when it becomes over accommodating to those lifestyles, especially.
I agree, that's bad.
Yeah, I mean, have you looked at the stats of the number of Gen Z kids identifying as LGBTQIA?
It's high, but there's a problem there.
1
too.
out of 5.
Yeah, but the problem
that's
is
doubled
that
every single generation.
But the problem is in that trans category, there's a new fucking thing called non-binary, and that's where like 98% of like the identifications are coming from. It's not so people say like,
It's
oh my
trendy
God.
now, though. There's a social contagion
But I just
to
want to
it.
be clear, there is a social contagion for it, but it's not. It's not people in 5th grade getting vaginas. It's people in college that are like, I'm non-binary and my pronouns are zer.
Sure,
It's them, right?
sure.
And I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying like that's a phase we need to deal with it. But people like, dude, if you spend time researching something, if I put out a 10-minute video on a topic, I can speak for 2 hours about it because not every piece of knowledge I have is going to show up in the video.
Sure.
You have to do a lot of background research. When you make a whole fucking documentary about trans issues and trans kids, and you get put on Joe Rogan and he says, "How many kids do you think are on hormones?" and you say millions.
Yeah, that was an L for Walsh.
Yeah, but it's not just an L in that moment. It showed that he didn't do a single ounce of research for the entire
To see how
documentary.
impactful that was.
Yeah, because if you think of something, that's like, if I ask you like how many homeless people are in LA, and you're like, I don't know, maybe like 5 million. What the fuck kind of number? What do you even know what the fucking population of LA is?
Yo, we just hit 400,000 subscribers right here on the Clips channel. So if you want to help us out, click subscribe, get us to 500K. Yeah.